If there's one mythos that has piqued my interest throughout novels, movies, and games alike, it's the creature Cthulhu. Cthulhu is a cosmic entity known as the Great Old One, and was a myth created by H.P. Lovecraft. Cthulhu became more than just a story in a book though. There are countless references to the mythological creature throughout media culture, like Moonlord and Terraria, or the Call of Cthulhu movie that was based off the Call of Cthulhu novel from H.P. Lovecraft, or Forgive Me Father is a first-person dark retro game created by a small indie team based in Poland. They only have one other published game, Mythbusters Simulator. Regardless of their history with games, Forgive Me Father was a successful release. The game has its issues, just like any other game, but playing through the entire game, I'm thoroughly impressed at the experience this small team was able to create with almost no previous releases. The game takes a 2.5D art style and is inspired from the works of H.P. Lovecraft, and captures the essence of the source material through its art and content. They also do a great job at creating the intended atmosphere through its environments and sound design. The animations are beautiful. Whether we're talking about the player reloading or the monsters exploding, they look spectacular. The gameplay is where this game really shines though. The guns deliver a satisfying and impactful experience, which is especially important for an FPS, and I'm glad they nailed it. There's also no reloading, so you can just unload your entire mag without worrying. Forgive Me Father offers 8 distinct weapons, including a knife, all of which can be upgraded throughout the game. The upgrades felt incredibly rewarding with each purchase, noticeably enhancing the performance of each weapon. The core gameplay, with its diverse environments and intense fast-paced action, brings back that nostalgic feeling for the early FPS classics like Doom and Quake, while not falling into that clone category that everyone labels every boomer shooter nowadays. The weapon mechanics offer a wide array of distinct options, each with its own unique characteristics. Additionally, you're provided with secondary abilities that have cooldowns, like slowing down time, stunning enemies, or healing, depending on which character you're playing. When you first start playing, the fast-paced action and enemies spawning all around you can be really overwhelming, but once you start gaining confidence in your movement and upgrading your weapons, it becomes a lot less overwhelming. For the majority of the game, players navigate through narrow, dimly lit corridors, mainly focused on locating the correct keys essential for unlocking the doors and progressing through the levels. Not every level has keys, and not every level with keys requires all the keys, but the colors of the keys stay the same. You find the red and or blue one and use that to find the yellow key, which usually leads you to the end of the level. However, at random moments, the game throws the player into rooms full of a bunch of different monsters, offering opportunities to unleash all your firepower and mow down the monsters. These sporadic encounters serve as dynamic breaks from the methodical exploration, injecting bursts of action and excitement into the gameplay experience. The seamless transition from experience to intense enemy encounters showcases the game's ability to blend suspenseful navigation with thrilling combat sequences. However, while you are exploring the levels, you're constantly running through areas scattered with monsters. You can either just ignore them if you're really only interested in finishing the game, or if you're a 100% freak, you can kill every single monster. I usually switch between the two. Usually I'll kill everything since they drop health and you can usually find ammo around the next corner. You can also find secret areas full of loot for you to resupply and heal. I like these secret areas, but if you're like me and you like to rush through the levels as fast as possible, you'll probably miss them. But you can also find a secret gun. The gun is called the Tormentor, and whenever you pick it up for the first time, you get an achievement. And you lose the gun once you finish the level. You can only find it twice, in World 1 level 5 and in World 2 level 5. As I played more, I found the game becoming somewhat repetitive. While some levels showcase creative designs, even the more interesting environments started to feel tedious over time, and I often found myself eager to reach the end of each level quickly. Even though this game feels like it wants you to move quickly, if you don't take your time in some of these areas, you will die. There's also a minor but significant issue that stood out to me. Having to navigate through the scroll wheel to select the knife for a quick melee attack on an enemy felt cumbersome, especially in situations where speed and conserving ammo are crucial aspects of the gameplay. Forgive Me Father proved to be quite a challenge when it came to ammo pickups, and this was only made worse by my choice in upgrades. Early on, I bought an upgrade to transform my Thompson machine gun into an energy-based weapon, requiring a different, rarer ammo type. However, throughout the game, I encountered the ammo only a handful of times, until a weapon specifically designed to use energy ammo was introduced. And even though it doesn't use the Thompson ammo anymore, I frequently encountered the ammo pickups for the standard Thompson, and they were no use. I also selected a shotgun upgrade that offered increased firepower at the cost of doubled ammo consumption, and this only made my ammo situation worse. Additionally, there's a madness mechanic boosting your damage output while reducing incoming damage from enemies, but I didn't really notice the impact of it. The game features a skill tree that allows players to upgrade not only their arsenal of weapons, but also their secondary abilities and new helpful upgrades like health, shield, and ammo. Each upgradable branch offers compelling options that make me carefully consider my choices, but the system never overwhelmed me with too many options. Luckily, if you do change your mind, after defeating a boss, you'll get a skill point reset. A helpful tip if you're playing for the first time, get the XP upgrade early in the game. Despite maximizing XP upgrades, the leveling progression still feels slow later in the game, so this investment of XP boost can significantly smooth out the leveling experience. I mentioned earlier that there are 8 main weapons you acquire throughout beating the game. I'm going to do my best not to butcher the names, but some of them are pretty obscure. First is the knife. It doesn't do great damage, but it can be upgraded into the machete or the throwing knife, and the machete can be upgraded into the mutated knife. The next weapon is the revolver, which can be upgraded into the dual revolvers or the Knoller G40, an automatic pistol. Next is the shotgun, which can be upgraded into the spitter or the power shotgun, and the spitter can be upgraded into the Bissell shotgun, which takes 2 bullets but fires bouncy shots. Then we have the Trocken Todd MP18. A burst fire submachine gun, which can be upgraded into the Trocken Todd MP28 or the Nas Todd LD42. The Nas Todd LD42 can be upgraded into the Nas Todd LT62. Now we have the Rusty Vito, which is a fully automatic Thompson that can be upgraded into the Rustier Vito or the Des Gauze. The Des Gauze is an energy weapon that can be upgraded into the Des Gauze Mark II. Next is the Energy Booster. It can be upgraded into the Energy Catalyst or the Worm Nest, and the Worm Nest can be upgraded into the Big Worm Nest. And then we have the Thundernomicon? Something like that. It's pretty much a bazooka. Lastly, we have the Harpoon, which can be upgraded into the Whale's Bane, pretty much a crossbow. That pretty much covers the weapons. They can be pretty interesting, and they can also kill you too. Speaking of things that can kill you, Forgive Me Father has a big roster of enemies. One of the only things encountered in-game that isn't hostile to the player is the friendly drunken sailor, who acts as a save point. You can find him throughout each level, but unfortunately right before the final fight against Cthulhu, you find him dead. The save point still works though. A pretty neat thing I'd like to mention is how they tackled keeping the enemies interesting. As you make your way through the worlds, you'll see influxes of new monsters, and the other monsters take a backseat for a while, but you still get enough of the other monsters so it doesn't get boring. And you'll see it kind of changes as you play the game. You venture through 5 different worlds. Each one has a varying amount of levels, but they're pretty much the storytelling of your character chasing down these creatures that you have an utter disgust for. At the end of each world, you face the world boss. The first boss is Catharsis. The second boss is Azazel. The third boss is Big Ugly Fish. The fourth boss is Glitch. And the final boss is the one and only Cthulhu. To be honest, the only boss that took me more than 2 tries was Cthulhu. The rest I took down pretty easily. I really do wish they included more bosses in this game, even if it was in the form of mini bosses, it would have been nice. And while there is somewhat of a story, it's mostly presented in notes throughout the map and small cutscenes.
Hiding from the world. He recognizes your face. He slowly comes back to his senses. He gives you a key with the image of Cthulhu.
Eventually, I found myself skipping the notes and artifacts altogether, as the game's emphasis on fast-paced gameplay overshadowed the storyline. After finishing each world, we get to see more about what exactly we're doing and where we're going. Spoilers for the game finale in case you want to play the game for yourself. Unfortunately, the game has a pretty bad ending. It's not terrible. Definitely not the worst I've seen, but it's not great. After defeating Cthulhu and ending our bloodlust crusade, we woke up in the mental hospital, where we were tied down. As it turns out, we went crazy, and we murdered the entire town of Pestisville, including our cousin, who we were supposed to meet at the very beginning. The ending is the same for both playable characters, and it's likely that the priest and the journalist are related since they both came here looking for the same cousin. That about covers the game. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, make sure to drop a thumbs up and subscribe. Expect more videos soon. I've been trying to push these out, trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. Hopefully we could do it by the end of the year, if that's possible. I really don't know, but we're gonna try. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.